friends, welcome back to my channel. This is Lori from Get Crafty with Lori, and today we are going to make these beautiful Christmas cards. I had a card workshop yesterday, and the ladies made these cards and absolutely loved them. When this catalog was first launched before November, Close to My Heart did their catalog launch with us, and they taught us how to make these cards. Theirs were just a little bit different because they added stickers to them, and because I did a workshop, I didn't want to have to do it with stickers, so I just changed them up just a little bit. But let me show you what we used. In here in the catalog, we used these beautiful papers from the Silver Bells collection here. If you were to do this workshop, you would just need to get the Silver Bells paper pack. But it also comes with these beautiful stickers, which you may want to order because you can make some beautiful layouts with that, as well as cards using the stickers. We also used the Silver Bells coordinating cardstock. We used the Silver Bells dots. And this is the stamp set that we used right here. The Silver Bells card making stamp and thin cuts. I will go ahead and put the link to these items that I used in the description of my video. And if you are not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my videos. And if you enjoy the video when you're finished, please give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. That helps YouTube to put more videos like this out there. So let's go get started on these cards. Before we get started, one very important thing that I forgot to mention is that we are going to be using these colored pencils in the natural landscape, and these are found in our Essentials catalog here. And we have three different color families here. We've got the Bright and Vivid, the Perfect Portrait, and the Natural Landscape. And these just blend so incredibly beautiful. And they're only $6.95 each for a set. And you're going to see how nice these pencils blend. I absolutely love them. I've been a fan of alcohol markers for many years, but now that I have these, I really like them. They're so easy to use, and they're fun. So let's get started. So what I wanted to show you also is how I cut my pieces. So I start out with a piece of a 12-inch length piece of cardstock, and I've cut it 5 inches across, and then I go ahead and fold it in half. And the reason I fold it in half is so that you can get two images through one cut. So I will lay my pieces down to fit on here like that. So now that I have these down, I don't want them to move when I put them through my machine. So I'm putting out this washi type tape that we sell at Close to My Heart. I'll also put a link to that. And that way I can just tape them down and they won't move. I can just use a couple of pieces right here to connect all three like that. And so now that that's in there like that, excuse me, then I can go ahead and run it through my machine. I have a magic mat here. This is getting kind of old, but it works great. So I'm going to go ahead and put these down. Let's move this over here so you can see what I'm doing. And then I am just going to go ahead and put it in my machine and run it through. You can run it through one time, but I always kind of like to back it up and go through a second time. That way I'm sure that I have it cut all the way through. So we have that done now. We move this down. And now I can just separate this. Be careful when you do this so you don't tear your paper with the tape. This tape is kind of low tack, so it's not real sticky, so you don't really have to worry too much about that. But I just like to be extra careful. And so now I have all these cuts done. And so then you can go through and run it through a few more times, and then you have all of your pieces. And look how simple that was. And you can reuse the tape. I just like to peel it off and put it on the top of my machine, and that way I have it to use again. And then, so that I don't lose these pieces, I like to put them right back on my carrier sheet right away, because these little pieces can get lost very easily. And this carrier sheet is magnetic, so they aren't going to go anywhere. You can just drop them in there if you need to, because they're going to stay down. And then I can put these away and get out my stamp. So I am using the Close to My Heart VersaMat here to stamp on. So I'm going to move these out of the way, and I am going to turn this over, and it's a nice surface for stamping on. Let me go ahead and we'll stamp this one here. And when you put it on a block, you want to make sure that it is a block that fits your stamp. You don't want it to be too small or too big. This little 2x2 inch block fits just about right. And I like to rub it on my hand before I use it to get off any film or dust or anything that might be on there. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp this in intense black ink. Okay, so I've got that inked up well. And then the nice thing about having it on this black surface is you have the contrast of the black and white. So you can easily see where you're putting it down. So I like to set it down and just hold it there for a few seconds to give it enough time for the ink to settle in. You don't want to wiggle your stamp. You just want to hold it down firm. Maybe you can compress in the middle a little bit. And then when you lift it up, you have a nice image. And I will go ahead and stamp all of my other images off the camera. But let's get started. And I'm going to let that ink set before we color. Okay, for our first card, we're going to go ahead and make this beautiful Happy Holidays card. I went ahead and cut the pieces for my card. It's nice to cut them ahead of time, and I just stick them inside the card, and that way I have them. So we started with this really pretty stripe here, and it's diagonal stripe, and I have this cut at, let's see. Let me turn my mat the right way, excuse me. So I have this cut at 5.5 by 4 1/4. And then I have this second piece here that's going to go right on top. And this is cut at 5 by 3 3/4. And then we have this pattern here. And this is cut at 4.5 by 3.5. Then we have this charcoal piece here, and we are using the dark side. Our cardstock has two sides, a lighter and a darker. We call the darker the true color. And so this one here, the darker side of charcoal, is at 5.5 by 2.25. And then I have a piece of white daisy, and this is cut at 5.5 by 2. And that is going to go right on top like that. So let's go ahead and start assembling this card. So I'm taking a card base, and it has what we would call a peak and a valley. You don't want to fold on the valley. You want to fold on the peak because it gives some strength to your card. It helps it to stand nicely. So now that that is down, and I am using this close to my heart tape runner. I decided to give it a try for the first time, and I absolutely love it. Let me show you how nice it goes down. The reason I like it is because there's not a lot of waste. It comes out in little dots. You probably can't see it, but they're just tiny little dots on this. And it's also forgiving. If you need to move it, you can. But once it's down permanent. So I've got that right there. And let me set my card up here so you can see what I'm doing. And so next we're going to put this piece down. Oh, there you go. You can kind of see the dots a little bit better on this gray. Can you see the little dots here? Sometimes I've used in the past Tombow, and I did not like it because there would be so much waste, and sometimes it would get gummed up on me. The old Tombow they used to have was really nice, but I think they changed the formula, so I'm not real crazy about it. So I've tried several different tape runners, and I really like this a lot. I also like to use the Berry Arts Precision Glue. A lot of times I use that. That's just really a simple way to do it, and there is no waste. I mean, virtually little, because there's lots of glue in the bottle. But this, it's just, you just need to put little dots down here and it stays. So this is really a nice way to go. So I put that down there. These pieces just lay nicely on this. We're using the dark side, which is the true side of charcoal. So I'm just going to lay this down here. Okay. Then I have this piece right here, and I want to make a dashed line. And to get a really good dashed line, it helps to use a ruler, or if you don't have a ruler, you can do it freeform. Let me get my ruler out. The thing that I like about using our VersaMat is that it has this nice grid and these 1/4 inch spaces on it. So I can line this up and then line my ruler perfectly. And then I can just come through here with a fine tip pen. I'm using the 0.5 pen here. Close to my heart sells one that's a really nice one, the LeBlanc pen. And I don't have that, but I would like to get that when this pen runs out. So I'm just going along here and just lifting my hand and making those dash lines. So now I am going to bring it down here and line that up and do the same. just going to go ahead and just make these little dashed lines here. If you're good with your arm, you can just freeform it too and make it real organic. Make it your own, whatever you want it to be. And so now I'm going to go ahead and stamp Happy Holidays on this piece here. And I'm going to do that in charcoal ink. And once again, I'm going to turn my mat over. And here's my ink. And I'm going to grab this Happy Holidays. And I'm going to find a block that will fit it. Okay, I have this block here that'll work. So what I like to do when I'm putting my stamp on my block, I like to lay it down the way I want it to be. And then I just lay the block on top of it like that. And then go ahead, as usual, and just rub it on your hand. I like to do this every time. It's really important at first when you get it because you need to remove the film. You can remove it with a rub and remove eraser, or you can stamp it several times on a piece of scratch paper before you're ready to use it, and that will take it off too. So I just want to make sure I got that inked up really well, and that looks good. So now I'm going to get this straight, and then I'm going to go ahead and lay it down right about there. And then I'm just going to hold it, let the ink soak in, you know, just sing your favorite song or count to 5 or 6 slowly, and that should do it. And then you can lift it up and you get a perfect image when you do it that way. Just don't be in a hurry, just give it time to soak in, and then you will have a nice image. Okay, so let's put this back down on my mat, and then I'm going to go ahead and put this back on here. Lay this down like that. So that's down. Okay, and so now I am ready to go ahead and color my images in. So I'm using these two here. And let's get out our pencils. Okay, let me open these up, and I will tell you which colors we're going to use. This one just fell out, and this one is called Sky Blue. We're going to use Sky Blue, and we're going to use Oak Tree. Then we're going to use Flint Gray right here. And then we're going to use the Foliage Green and the Hawthorn Brown. Here's Hawthorn Brown. And let's see, Foliage Green. Helps when you take the pencils out like this, and that way you can get them out easy. And then just set them aside when you're done. Okay, so these pencils have a sharp tip on them when you first get them, but you don't want to color with a sharp tip. You want it to be dull. So what you're going to do is you're going to get out a scratch piece of paper. I have a piece right here we can use. And so what you're going to do is you're going to take your pencils. You want a dull edge. So we're going to rub it on our paper like this to get the dull edge, because it blends really nicely when it's dull. Otherwise, if you use the sharp edge, you're going to have like that kind of look, and you're going to see that it's not so even. But we will use the sharp edge when you want to kind of highlight the lines. You can do that. But for now, when you're doing your shading, you want to have a blunt end. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for each of my pencils before I'm ready to use them. Since I used these yesterday, most of them already kind of have that edge like that. This one, actually, I think I need to run it through the pencil sharpener. It's got used a lot yesterday, so I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I just sharpened it. And this one has a nice sharp edge like yours will have when they first come out of the package. So let's see. So this one is really sharp, and we want to dull that edge. Definitely want to make sure that it's dull on one edge here, and then it can be pointing on the other side. So I'll just make sure that all of these are dull. This colors so beautifully. I really like them a lot. Look how pretty those colors are. Okay, so now that is done, I am ready to go ahead and start my card. So the first thing we want to do is take the sky blue, and we want to make sure that we're using that blunt edge, and we're going to give this holidays a wash. It's going to look like you had maybe put watercolor over it, but we're just going really light to start with. You can build the color, but you want to start light on this. Look at how nice those color. So you can just keep going over it and layer it until you have the desired color that you want. You don't want it too dark, but you don't want it too light either. So just keep going over it like this. Okay, that looks really pretty. Okay, it's faint, but it's just enough. So let's go ahead and take this one here. And also with this pen here, I'm going to use the sharp point, and I'm just going to go over the X's on this. Just like that. Okay, so next I'm going to take the oak brown, the blunt side, and I'm just going to go ahead and color it the direction of the lines in here. Nice thing about these colored pencils is that you don't have to color in circles to get them to blend. Kind of like the old colored pencils, you would have to do that, or you'd have to use Gamma-Sol to get them to blend. With these, you don't. The color goes so nice. These are made by Spectrum Noir, the ones who make the beautiful alcohol markers. So they really did a good formula with this. So I'm just going over the whole thing like this. And now what I can do if I want to highlight those lines, I can take the pointy part of it now and just go over it. And that gives it a little bit darker shade right over where those lines are. I'll do it up here too. And you can actually bring it out a little bit, so that way it looks natural. Doesn't look like you're meant to be going over the lines, but it kind of looks like you did the lines when you do it like this. So just go over them like that. We'll do the same for the top up here. And then you can take the blunt edge again if you want, and just go over it and blend it all in there. Look how pretty that looks. Let me show you on the close-up. Isn't that pretty? Okay, now let's do the same with this one. We're sticking with the oak tree on this one and the blunt edge. So we're going to go ahead and color this up here. And just go straight across like that. Isn't that pretty? And then we're going to come down right here and do the same here. I'll go ahead and do this. Do these lines here on the sides. And I think I'll do this here too. Outline there. That looks really nice. Give it a little bit more color if you feel like it needs it. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and go back again with this sky blue. And I'm going to put a little bit of blue in here, right above that oak tree. And then down here on the bottom, I'm going to do the same. Okay, and I think I'll go ahead and add some highlights with the point on this. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and color this bow, and I'm just going to follow the lines again and go inwards with it. Okay, we're going to do it like this. This is a good time to start on your Christmas cards if you haven't already. With Thanksgiving's going to be this week, so if you have any free time before all your company comes over, or I don't know if you do, having to get the house clean and everything, but you know, maybe do a few cards each day or each evening and just keep working at it, and before you know it, you'll have a whole set of cards. This is just so pretty with this set here. Other than the items that I listed, you're just going to need your cards and your envelopes, and you'll have a beautiful set of cards. The ladies in my card workshop yesterday absolutely loved these cards. They just loved the beautiful gold looking colors in here. I mean, this oak brown, it looks gold. They just loved the silver and gold look and the soft colors. So I am really happy that they liked them, but look at how pretty that looks. Okay, so next we are going to take the foliage green, and with the blunt side, we're going to go ahead and color in these leaves. Just go light-handed with them. This color's kind of a dark color because we will highlight the veins of this leaf when we're done coloring these. Okay, now that's done. So just go ahead with this like that. So how many of you have relatives coming over this week? I am going to have a house full coming over. We have relatives coming tomorrow from Southern California, and they're going to be here through the weekend. So it's going to be a busy time in my house. I started a new job, but I'm just going to be working 2 days. Other than this is my fun stuff. I don't really consider this work because this is my happy stuff. But I am an accountant, and I retired from the government 4 years ago. I worked for a company for over 20 years, and I took my retirement, and I've been home for the last 4 years, but I felt like I wanted to keep my foot in the door. I just felt like it's always good to be prepared, but where I'm working, I just feel like God has put me in the right place. I always kind of wanted to be a company accountant, and I am just amazed that God gave me the desires of my heart. I am working for this really nice couple in a small city, and they own several commercial buildings, and I'm going to be doing the accounting for them, and it's only 16 hours a week, and the commute isn't bad, and I'm doing it all on QuickBooks. When I worked for a city government, we had a huge accounting software program, but since I've been retired, I've been a volunteer accountant for my church, and during those 4 years, I learned how to do QuickBooks, and I took all the certification classes. I haven't taken the test yet, but it's not necessary. I just wanted to make sure I knew everything. So when I went in for this job, it's like, oh my gosh, I can do this. So I'm just so happy, and I'm just really happy that God's put me in a good place. But I only work from 9 to 1, Monday through Thursday. So I'm really happy that that's all I'm going to be doing. And then this week, I will only be working on Monday and Tuesday. So it'll be fun. I started last week, and it's nice that I can familiarize myself with everything. And the lady who's training me has just been really lovely. So I'm really happy. So anyways, I'm putting my little dots on, and I am out of the small gold ones. So I'm going to go ahead and put another medium-sized one down here, like that. And that card is done. Okay, let's get started on this next card. This card is a little bit different than the one that Close to My Heart showed us how to make. And the reason I made it different is because they had put a sticker behind here. And since I didn't want to use stickers in my workshop, I used 2 of these images. I layered them. One is flat back here, and this one laying right on top of it is popped up on foam tape. So let's go ahead and get started with this card. So we're going to start folding on the peak here. And we will start with this piece here. This piece is cut at 5.5 by 3. Go ahead and put that down. As you can see, I'm not using a whole bunch of this tape runner. It's so nice to not have to use a lot. So let's see, I have this about, let's see, let me put it down here. So it's at 1 3/4 up from the bottom. So the nice thing, once again, about this VersaMat is it is so great for measuring. So I can just lay it down here at 1 3/4, and the line goes straight across. So without a ruler, I know that my line is straight. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and put this next piece on top of that. That is 5.5 by 2. Once you have the pieces cut, these cards go together so easily. Oops, sorry. The next one I forgot. We're putting down this acorn colored piece of cardstock, and that's 5.5 by 2 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this, center it right on this piece. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and put that right on top of here. So we'll just go ahead and center this. There we go. Okay, that's down. Then we're going to take the true side of the charcoal, the darker side, and it's 3.5 by 3. So let's put a little adhesive on that. Okay, and this piece here, it goes up all the way to the top. We have a zip strip on top of that. So this is up 1/4 inch from the bottom, and it looks like it's a 1/2 inch over. So we'll sit this right here, go up 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch over, like that. Then we'll put the zip strip down. The zip strip is cut at 3 inches. So we'll lay that on there like that. Then we got this piece here, this white daisy. And this is cut at 4 inches by 1.5. And we are going to stamp Happy Holidays in a black ink. So let me clear this off of my mat and flip it over. If you don't want to keep flipping your mat like I'm doing, you can use this foam piece that comes with the stamp set. They put this in here so that you can use this as a surface to stamp on, because you don't want to stamp on a hard surface, because sometimes it might be uneven, and this gives you a little bit of cushion also, so that way it has a little bit of give to get in there and get it stamped. Okay, so I believe I have Happy Holidays already out, because I used it once before with the charcoal ink. So now I'm going to go ahead and ink this up in my intense black ink. So I get it nice and inked up here. And then let's bring back my card. So we're just going right on here like this. Make sure I have it the right side up. Okay, so go ahead and hold that down. I'll have to think of a little song that I could sing to hold this down, and when I'm done with that song, then this will be done. So if you have any songs that you like to sing while you're holding your image down, let me know, and we'll sing them. So there we go. My Happy Holidays looks good. So now let's flip this back over. Get this right side up. And then once again, we are going to go ahead and draw a line here. So I'm going to bring back in my ruler. And let's see. Think about right there, or should I go up a little bit higher? About right there looks good. Take my pen, and I am just going to draw a line straight across. Go back over this one. There we go. So now that is done. Okay, so now we are going to do some dovetailing. If you've never done dovetailing, then you're going to like this method here. It's not intimidating, and you're going to get a good cut. So you want to find the center of your paper. So I would say it's right about here. If you want, you can take a pencil if you have one handy. Oh, here's one. Okay. If not, you can just guesstimate it too. But if you want to, I would say just go ahead and put a little mark right about there. And then you're going to take your scissors here, and you're just going to cut a little notch right up there. And then you're going to go from the corner, and you are going to cut in to that little notch. And then you're going to do the same over here. So cut directly right into it, and voila, there's your dovetail. See how simple that was? And now we're going to take our pencils, and we are going to do some coloring. Okay, so the colors that we have here, I went ahead and pulled them out for you. We've got oak tree. We have dark timber, hawthorn brown, leafy green, and woodland green. We do not need this one, so I'm going to put that back. Okay, so for this, we're going to do a wash with the leafy green. Make sure we're using our dull edge, and we're just going to go lightly over it, just like this. You can build that color so you don't have to go too hard on it, but this color fills in really nicely. It's a nice green. So, okay, that's done. So now we have 2 of these, but we only need to color the ornament on one and the leaves on both of them. So we're going to start with the oak tree, and we're going to go in the direction of the lines. So let's just start here, and we're going to color lightly because we're going to build this color. We don't need to go too dark yet. We'll just keep coloring, and we'll just keep depositing more color as we go. If you want, you can do like this, start this way and just do short strokes. Might make it a little easier, and then turn it around and come from this side here and just meet in the middle. That works nicely. And if you want, you can, I was going to say, do some shading in here. Make this center a little bit lighter if you want. But since we have these lines here, they're telling us that this is going to be the part that's the brightest. So we're going to go ahead and use the pointed part. So we want to get it darker in this area. So just keep following the lines. Like that, and then we can use this same pointed part for this top part here, since that's mostly lines on that one. Okay, so now we are going to go ahead and take the leafy green side, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to color in these leaves. And just color them lightly in, like that. Aren't these pencils just wonderful? I mean, look at the shading. It looks to me almost like alcohol markers because it's so nice. You can even mix colors too to give a different shade. It's instead of, like you would with the alcohol markers, using several different colors. With these, you don't really have to, because you can go darker, and you can use the other colors to change the color. So here for these veins, I'm just going to go darker with this one here. Look at how pretty that looks. Isn't that beautiful? And I'm not using a lot of colors. They look so pretty. So I'm just going over the veins. You don't have to go too hard since it is a darker color. It's giving you a deeper shade. Okay, so now that's done. I'm going to go ahead and do the same on this one here. Just color all these in. I like coloring. This is a fun thing to do. Several years ago, I broke my leg and was laid up for quite a while. And so I just laid in my hospital bed at home, which was downstairs in my family room. We have a tri-level house, and there's nothing but stairs in my house. And I couldn't even get up the stairs to go to the kitchen. So I just had to lay in the family room on display for everybody. But I would just lay there and color. When I was on so much medication that it didn't really matter a whole lot. So anyways, so we're going to go ahead and put these down like this. As you can see, it's not going to work to do it like that because they're the same. So when you put it down, you can cover up the top part on that one. So before I do that, I need to take this Hawthorn Brown and we're going to take the tip and we are going to color in these berries here. Okay, just like that. Okay, so let me pull out my card that I started and we're going to go ahead and put some adhesive on the one on the left. Let me make sure I get this positioned right before I put it down. So it is going to go let's see, actually I think I want it more a little bit like that. That works. Okay, so that is down, and then I'm going to take my foam tape. See where I put my foam tape. It's probably right in front of me. Here it is. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of foam tape on this. See, I hope that's not too long. I guess I can put it down like that. Maybe just put a little piece right there. Okay, so there's the foam tape. Peel that off. Okay, so now this can go down like about there. Okay, and then this piece here, this is also going to go on foam tape. Like, I'm going to tuck it under this a little bit. There we go, but it'll be on foam tape. Okay. Take this off. Okay, give it a little bit of a tuck under there. Uh-oh, the tape is sticking. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so this is going to go right under here, like this. Maybe lift that up a little bit. Finagle it a bit. Come on, why are you being so difficult? Let's get this under here like that. And pull this down a little bit. Okay, there we go. Okay, and now it is ready to put the embellishments on it. We're using these little white sparkly dots. Aren't those so pretty? It almost looks like snow on there or a little bit of rain. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the small one here, put that there, and another little small one down here. And then I'm going to use a large one over here. Then I'm going to take these gold dots here. And I'm out of the little ones, so I'm going to use a medium one right here, and that will work. It looks really pretty. And this card is done. Okay, so I have all my pieces now, and I'm going to start with my card base, folding it on the peak. And let's lay these pieces down. So this one is going to go over here. It's going to have 1/4 of an inch on each side. It always helps to take out your ruler and help you to line that up. So since my VersaMat is in 1/4 inch increments, I can just lay my ruler down like that. Put this down here. Okay, now that's all straight, then the others should lay down nicely. Okay, let's get that down. And then this side, it's actually toffee. I think I called it acorn, but it's toffee. And this is going to go right down here. Okay, so there it goes like that. And then we have this piece here. Let me see what color they call this. Hold on a second. Sometimes I get these colors, they're so close and you can mix them up. This is mink, and with the mink, we are using that on the light side. So I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive down and put that right about here. It kind of overlaps the toffee piece a little bit. So that's going to go down like that. Okay, then we have these two pieces here. This just goes right in the center of this piece. And then this is going to be popped up on foam tape like that. And then we're going to stamp Warmest Wishes right here in the Intense Black ink. And I have this on my block ready to go, so I'm going to go ahead and ink that up. Okay, let's do this the right way. Let's turn this over like that. I'm going to take it off of the card. Well, actually I can't because I've put it down. But just to be on the safe side, I'm going to take this little piece of foam that I have, and I'm going to put that right there. And let me put this back down where I want it to be. Okay, so now I have Warmest Wishes inked up. And I just want to make sure that I don't have any ink on the edges of my block. So then I'm going to go ahead and lay that down and press it down and let it sit there for like 5 or 6 seconds. And then lift that up. And I have my image. Okay, so now I'm going to put this on some foam tape, and I will turn this back over. Okay, that should be about enough. Okay. Take that backing off. I have this cute little trash can. Look at this. A friend of mine gave this to me. I think she got them at the dollar store, and she bought them for each of the ladies in our card workshop. So it's great just for those little pieces that you have. So we can just drop it in your can. So let's put this down here like this. Okay, and so now we're going to go ahead and color these bells in. And the colors that we're going to use are Flint Gray, Oak Tree, Hawthorn Brown, and Sap Green. So we're going to go ahead and start with the bells, and we're going to use the flat side of our pencil, and we're just going to color with the lines, just like that. It looks very light, But what we're going to do is we're just going to keep building this color on it. So we start light and then we just build with it. So especially in the center here, I'm just going to keep going over it like this till it's the color that I'd like it to be. There we go. It's starting to look gray now. It's not so white. Then I'm going to go ahead and do this center piece too, like that. Just keep layering the color down. And then on the edges, when I get to those, I'm going to go ahead and use the pointed part of my pencil for those to kind of make those pieces stand out. So let's just do this here until okay, that looks good. And now then I'll just take the sharp piece and just go over these lines and bring them out a little bit. Like that. And then I'm going to do it up here too. And I'm just following the direction of the lines. Okay. Okay, then I can go back over it and blend it with the dull side. Okay, so it's hard to tell from this angle, but this has a gray tone to it, and this one, it's obvious that it's white. So I'm going to go ahead and just really color in there, like that. Give it that nice gray shade, and bring it up. And then I'm going to take the tip of it and then just go over it and outline it. And by doing this, it makes this area with the lines darker. So that way the gray stands out. So I'm going to do that to all these lines here. It's really very light, this gray, but it just gives it enough because the bells would be silver anyway, so they need to be light in color. Okay, so next I'm going to go ahead and take this oak tree and use the dull side. And there we go. It's nice how this oak tree looks gold when it's a brown, but it actually comes out very gold-like. So I am just going over this whole bow like this and just going in the direction of the lines. Now I'm going to take the sharp part of the pencil and go over the lines. And look at that. You can see how much darker it is on the outside than it is on the ends where it would be shaded. Isn't that pretty? So we'll do the same here. And make sure I come up here in these corners in the center of the bow and the tails. So now that part is done. So then I can go back with the dull part of my pencil and just go over the whole thing to blend it. There we go. Doesn't that look beautiful? Okay, so now I am going to take this hawthorn brown and I'm going to use the sharp tip to color in these berries. I like to leave a little white dot kind of on that because it gives it the look of light shining on it. We have a couple of berries. Actually, we've got 3 of them up here on the top that I'm going to do. Then I'm going to take the sap green and take the dull side and lightly color. Okay, that looks pretty. Now I'm going to take the sharp part of it and I am going to go over these lines here, these veins in the leaf. I like to, when you are shading, the part that would be the closest to the bow would be the darkest because light wouldn't be hitting it. So that's why it's so dark around here. There we go. And then I will go over it again with the dull part just to blend it all. Okay. And that is done. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to pop that up on foam tape as well. Okay, let's see how I'm going to do that. Put one on that side. And put one over here on this side like that. That looks good. Let's take these off. Put those in my little trash can. Dollar store. That's where she got them from, if you're wondering. I'm not sure if they still have them. She gave those to us about a year ago, but they are just so cute. So, okay, let's put this down here like that. Then I am going to get some of these silver pieces. Looks like I have just little ones and one medium left. So I think I'm going to go ahead. Let's see what would look best. I could do 2 big ones or 2 little ones. You know what? I think I'll use the big ones. They don't get used enough. So I'm going to put these down. Because that works. They're not too big. And that's very pretty. So there's that card. Okay, now we're ready for our 4th card. Get these pieces out. Okay, this piece here is cut at 2.5 by 5.5. This gray piece here is cut at 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. This charcoal piece is cut at 2 3/4 by 4. This white daisy is cut at 3 3/4 by 2.5. And this striped piece here is 4 1/4 by 3/4. So let's go ahead and put those pieces down. Get my card base. Okay, so this is going to be in a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to take my ruler, and so I can get a straight edge, I am going to lay this down like this. Okay, so now that's straight. Put a little adhesive on this. Let's move this out of the way. Okay. So So this is just going to go straight up and down like that. So now that piece is lined up. And this piece here, this gray piece, it is 1¼ inches up from the bottom. If I want to, I can go ahead and measure that. A lot of times I just like to eyeball things, but I will go ahead and lay it down this way. This has a print on it. So these it actually looks like a fountain for me, a bunch of fountains. So they're making this half moon. Whereas if it was like this, they're kind of going sideways down the page. So I have it where they're going across like that. There we go. So that is down. And then let's take this white, and we are using the dark side of the charcoal, which is the true color. So I'm just going to center that. And then I'm going to take this piece here. And this piece comes over here like this. And we can kind of lay this down like that. I can give you more of a measurement here. This is basically, it's 1/4 inch in, and it's about 3/4 inch up. So I'm going to go ahead and put that down. So let me just lay it here like this. So I'll start about here and lay that down. And this piece, oh, you know what? This white piece, excuse me, is supposed to be on foam tape. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off. That tape is, this tape runner is very forgiving. That came right up. It didn't give me any problem at all. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this down here like this. It's a good thing that I pulled this off because I've realized that I forgot to stamp "Wishing You Joy." So I'm going to flip my mat over and put this down, and I'm going to take, they used intense black ink on this. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp it in the intense black ink. Okay, make sure that's inked up well. And then I'm going to put that down right about there and just hold that. Okay, that looks good. Let's flip my mat back over and get my card out. And so now I'm going to put this on foam tape. It's starting to get light here. My husband and I took a break and we went out for dinner. We went to this restaurant that it's a Mexican restaurant, but it's not your typical Mexican restaurant. It's really an upbeat restaurant. A young guy started this restaurant called Taco Daddy's, and they have like these gourmet tacos. I had one that had shrimp in it, and I had another that had carnitas. They put them on these little corn tortillas, kind of like street tacos, and they just put all kinds of good stuff in it. And they have the beans and rice to go with it, and it was delicious. We were full, but we could not pass up their dessert. What they have for dessert, there's churros, and they give you these little round balls, or almost like a donut in a way, fried donut-like, and it's got the cinnamon and sugar, and it's drizzled with hot chocolate sauce, and they give you a little cup of the hot chocolate sauce to dip it in, and it is so amazing. But we had so much of it that we ended up bringing them home. So let me get my stamped image out here. I think I stamped it. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay, so I'm going to color this. So the colors that I have are nettle green, sky blue, flint gray, and oak tree, and then lastly hawthorn brown. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to color the center part of the ornament in the oak tree with the flat end. It's kind of nice if you want, you can shade the edges here like that. And that way the center part looks like the sun is shining on it. See how it's lighter in the middle and darker on the edges? And then I'm going to take the sharp part and just go over this little band. Like that. And I'm going to take the sky blue and use the dull side. Color this in. Like that. And then I'm going to do this part here. Okay, then the bow is going to be done in the hawthorn brown. So I'm going to turn it. It's easier to turn your image when you're coloring. So I'm just going to go straight up and down here. I want to make sure I'm using the dull side here. So I'm going to go ahead and color that like that. I'll just color that in like that. Okay, now we want to make it look a little bit darker. So we're going to go ahead and take that sharp edge, and then I'm going to go over these lines like that with it. Doesn't that look pretty with that dark shading on there? And then I'm going to use the sharp edge around these edges too. I guess we'll do them all since I have it in this direction here. Okay, now I'm going to turn it sideways and finish over here. Okay, I think that looks very pretty. Okay, I'm going to give a little more shading down here. Add a little bit darker. Okay, that looks pretty. Okay, so now I'm going to take this the hawthorn brown here, and I'm going to go ahead and color these in here. You know, I had gotten this out, this flint gray, but I'm not using it because I used the blue. So I'm going to take the nettle green, and I want to make sure I'm using the dull side. And I'm going to go ahead and color this. There we go, and then I'll take the sharp edge, do my shading and the veins on these leaves. You know, I just realized looking at this card, they did use the flint gray. And the flint gray is up here at the top of the ornament. So I'm just going to go lightly over that. So that's where that is. Okay, then I need to come over here, and with the oak tree, I probably should have colored this before I put it down, but it'll be okay. So I'm just going to color this like that. Just give it a little soft coloring on that. So pretty. And then I am going to put my ornament also up on foam tape. So I'll put a little bit on that. Okay, so now I went ahead and I put that down on foam tape, and we are ready for our next card, our last card. This one is on a Slimline base. So let me get my Slimline card, and once again I am going to fold on the peak, and these are my pieces. This piece here is cut at 7.5 by 2 3/4. This mink piece here is cut at 3 by 8. So that's going to go down here like this. Let me go ahead and put these pieces down first. Then I'll give you the other measurements. And we are doing that on the light side. So I'm just going to center this like that. And we'll take this piece and put it right over it. Goes right down like this here. Okay, and then we have these 3 little charcoal pieces. And these ones here are on the dark side. And these charcoal pieces are cut at 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. And those are going to go down like that. So I'm going to go ahead and put those down. These cards go together pretty quickly once you have all the pieces cut out. They're very simple and very elegant. Let's put that there. Okay, like that. Okay, then we have these 2 pieces and this white daisy. And these are the same size. And these are 2 by 2. So I'm going to go ahead and put these down. Doesn't really matter which way the pattern goes because you don't really see a whole lot of it. Okay, let's do that there. Okay, and then we have these, we have 2 of these little zip strips. And these little zip strips are 2 1/4 by 1/2. And we have 2 of these little white pieces here. And these are 1 1/2 by 1 1/2. And what they did is they darkened the edges of these 2 white pieces, and I'm going to show you how they did that. So what they did is they took their intense black ink and they took the edge and they just rubbed it over it like that. I kind of just tilted in a little bit so that way I get enough black on it, but it's not heavily colored in black. So I'll do that to both of these pieces. Just tilt it and run it over the edges. Okay, so now I have just a little bit of that black on there. So I'm going to go ahead and lay these down. Just center them. Actually, that one looks like it's a little bit crooked. Let me lift that up. Then we'll put this one down. Okay, now we're going to take our little zip strips and they are going to go right on top. Like that. And what did I do with my last one? There it is. Okay. Actually, this looks kind of crooked. I am going to lift it up. There we go. Get that straight. Okay. Now I will put this down here. Okay. And then we have these pieces here to color in. And the colors that I'm using to color these in, we have got oak tree, we have sky blue, hawthorn brown, and flint gray. So with this, let's start with the season's greeting here. So I'm going to go ahead and color that with this sky blue, and I am going to do it really lightly with the dull side. That looks pretty. And then I'm going to go ahead and take this one, and while I have the sky blue pencil out, excuse me, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to color in this bow, following the lines. I'm just going lightly over it, just give it a nice little blue shade on it. Is that I'm going to color in those marks, the black lines, with the tip on this pencil here, and that will darken the whole thing. Yesterday I was doing the workshop well, the ladies, they were having a great time coloring. And I just decided to just sit there. I had extra images and I figured, okay, I'm just going to sit there and color. And I was coloring a bunch of these in, and I was coloring the bow with that hawthorn brown. And one of the ladies says, I'm missing this piece. I see a bunch of them in here, but they're all colored in the hawthorn brown. I was like, oh no. She says, do you have one in blue? I was like, nope, don't have one in blue. So I had to go ahead and stamp and cut some more for her. But it was kind of funny. I was just having fun coloring away and figured that, well, I'll just get a jump on my Christmas cards too. Well, I'm sitting here watching them. So it was kind of funny. So anyways, I really like this blue bow. Now I wish I hadn't colored them all in that color. So I guess I'll just have to stamp a bunch more for myself and do them in this pretty blue. Okay. Anyways, so they colored the leaves in this flint gray. Kind of give it a different look. I think that looks pretty with the blue. I always like blue at Christmas. I guess it just brings back some happy memories. My mom, I remember when I was little, she had this gorgeous blue velvet dress. It was so pretty. I'm trying to remember what shade of blue it was. It was like a sapphire blue. And it was just so beautiful. My mom looked so pretty in her dress. And we all, me and my sister, we had little red velvet dresses, and it just brings back such happy memories when I see that in the blue. So I like this. So we got 3 of these little berries that we're going to color there. And then I'm going to go ahead and take this oak brown and just color lightly over here. And then in the center again. And then down here on the bottom. Okay, that looks really pretty. I'm going to outline here. Okay, that looks beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. Oops, I'm not done. I have one more here. So I'm going to color this in the oak brown. Color the whole thing. And the oak brown. And then they went over these X's in this blue. Okay, so that looks really nice. I think I have one more thing to do. I need to outline this. Okay, so now I can go ahead and put all this down on my card with foam tape. I am running out of foam tape. I'm at the part where it is on the cardboard. So what I'm going to have to do when it gets to there is I'm just going to have to put a little bit of adhesive on here. You can do this, or you can take your liquid glue and put that on the back of it too, and that would work. That way you don't have to have any of this go to waste. Okay, so let's put that down there. And this little one. Okay, these are all on foam tape. Oh, I think I need a little bit more. Okay. And that goes down like that. Okay, so we need some little sparkles. Let's see what we've got here. Boy, I am running low on these. Okay, so for this one, they had used a medium, but I could use the large, or I could use the small. I think I'll use the small on that. And there's one that goes up here. Okay, move that over a little bit. And then down here, they use 2 medium also. And once again, I'm out of the medium. Let's see how the large look here. Guess the large will work. Got to use what you have. That way we don't waste anything. So that card looks very pretty. Okay, well, that's it for all of my cards. Let me get them all out here for you. We did a lot today. Here we go. We've got that one. And that one. So that's it, folks. Well, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you've not already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And have a great evening or a great day whenever you're watching this. See you soon.